Season 2, Episode 7 of Game of Thrones, titled A Man Without Honor, follows several important character developments and plotlines across Westeros. At King's Landing, Tyrion Lannister's political maneuvering continues as he seeks to secure his position as Hand of the King. His relationship with his sister Cersei is strained, and Tyrion is forced to deal with the fallout from his earlier actions. He confronts Cersei about the increasing tension in the city, especially the threat from the Stark forces. Meanwhile, Tyrion is dealing with his own internal struggles, balancing power, loyalty, and the harsh realities of ruling. In the north, Jon Snow's journey continues beyond the Wall as he gets deeper into the realm of the wildlings. He and the group, led by Mance Rayder, move toward the mysterious lands beyond the Wall, where Jon faces a moral dilemma. He begins to question his place in the Night's Watch and the motivations of the wildlings, especially after being introduced to Ygritte, a fiery wildling woman. This subplot begins to build tension around Jon's loyalty to the Night's Watch versus the compelling nature of the wildlings' cause. Meanwhile, Robb Stark's campaign in the War of the Five Kings continues to gather momentum. His army is having success in the field, but Robb faces increasing pressure from his bannermen, who are starting to question his leadership. Robb's personal relationships come under scrutiny, especially as his romantic attachment to Talisa Maegor complicates his alliances. The episode highlights the personal sacrifices of war, as well as the growing internal struggles within his camp, especially around the issue of marriage and alliances that are essential to securing his future. Back in Harrenhal, Arya Stark continues her life as a servant in the Lannister-controlled castle, but her survival instincts continue to shine. Arya's cunning enables her to rise in status within the castle, and she befriends the mysterious Jaqen H'ghar, a man with dangerous secrets. As Arya becomes increasingly resourceful, her role becomes more significant, setting the stage for future developments in her story. Finally, the episode builds significant intrigue surrounding Theon Greyjoy's betrayal of the Starks. Having taken Winterfell, Theon is now facing the consequences of his actions as he tries to assert his dominance over the North. However, his insecurity about his place in both the Ironborn hierarchy and the Stark family drives him to make impulsive decisions that might ultimately lead to his downfall. As Theon's leadership falters, the episode sets the stage for future conflicts involving him, with themes of loyalty, betrayal, and identity playing central roles. Game of Thrones Season 2, Episode 8, titled The Prince of Winterfell, delves deeper into the power struggles and personal conflicts that are shaping the course of the War of the Five Kings. The episode begins with Robb Stark continuing his campaign in the war, but his position is increasingly precarious. Robb faces growing discontent among his bannermen, especially Lord Karstark, after he refuses to honor his arranged marriage to one of House Frey's daughters. Instead, Robb has fallen in love with Talisa Maegor, a healer he met during his travels. His decision to break the marriage contract has caused a rift in his alliances, and the episode highlights the difficulty of balancing personal feelings with the demands of war and leadership. Meanwhile, in Winterfell, Theon Greyjoy's hold on the Stark stronghold continues to weaken. Theon is struggling with his position, both in terms of his leadership of the Ironborn and his place within the Stark family. After the escape of Bran and Rickon Stark, Theon desperately tries to salvage his control over Winterfell. In a brutal move, he executes 2 farm boys, hoping to convince the people of Winterfell that he has captured the Stark children. This decision, however, backfires, as it shows Theon's insecurity and inability to gain true loyalty from his men. In King's Landing, Tyrion Lannister continues his complex role as Hand of the King. Tyrion is caught in a political struggle, not just with his sister Cersei, but with the growing influence of the Tyrell family, especially with the upcoming marriage between Sansa Stark and King Joffrey. Tyrion is aware of the dangers posed by the Tyrells and seeks to secure his own power. His relationship with Cersei remains strained, as she becomes increasingly paranoid about the safety of her children, particularly Joffrey. Tyrion's cleverness and ability to navigate the treacherous political landscape are on full display as he tries to maintain control over the volatile situation in King's Landing. Jon Snow's journey with the wildlings takes a more personal turn as he continues to integrate with them, especially through his growing bond with Ygritte. The wildlings' journey southward brings them closer to the Wall, and Jon is torn between his loyalty to the Night's Watch and his developing feelings for Ygritte. She challenges his preconceived notions about the wildlings, and her seduction of Jon further complicates his emotions. Jon's internal conflict deepens, and his loyalty to the Night's Watch begins to unravel as he faces the harsh reality of what lies beyond the wall. The episode concludes with a series of tense moments that set up future conflicts. Theon's desperate attempts to secure Winterfell unravel, leaving him facing the consequences of his decisions. Robb Stark's personal choices threaten to fracture his alliances, and the political game in King's Landing grows ever more complex as Tyrion faces threats from multiple directions. The episode highlights the theme of power and the personal sacrifices that come with it, as well as the ways in which characters are forced to navigate their desires, loyalties, and responsibilities in the brutal world of Game of Thrones. The stage is set for more betrayals and struggles, with each character's fate hanging in the balance.